And here we are at the end of the Omega Ruby Hardcore Nuzlocke. We are doing the Elite Four rematches tonight. Last night of the Omega Ruby Hardcore Nuzlocke proper. I'm gonna try to get to Wally after the Elite Four, but for now let's just focus on beating these guys. I don't want to even delve into the tactics and stuff like that. Let's just say that after those deaths against Zinnia, my whole strategy for the Elite Four changed drastically. So let's dive into the team a little bit. I should show the team. I should do one video before the actual battles. So let's showcase the team a little bit, shall we? So we have Guts. We have the return of Maricham. Godsend the Medicham, who's been with us for a long time, who packs Drain Punch, Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, and Fire Punch. Now, I did not give him those moves because I lack imagination, okay? This coverage is actually very, very handy for every fight of this gauntlet, even against Phoebe, right? But Medicham's main role is gonna be taking on Sydney and taking on Glacia. Its spread is the same. Godsend's spread is the same as the first round of Elite Four. Max attack, max speed, and 4 HP EVs. We're mainly gonna use Mega Medicham against Sydney and against Glacia. It has Ice Punch for Drake, and it has Fire Punch for Steven. It has Thunder Punch just in case I need it for other enemies. I don't remember exactly like where I need Thunder Punch, but I do know that I need it more than Rock Slide, especially because Rock Slide's only advantage over these three moves is that it can flinch, but that's unreliable. On top of that, its accuracy is unreliable because it's only 90%. So we're packing a full just reliable moves with 100% accuracy that are gonna get boosted by pure power once this goes mega. And even without the mega, it packs a punch regardless with those 356 attack. So Godsend the Medicham. Another returning member is Reiner the Aggron, this time trained in special defense to compensate for the naive nature, which plays a bit of against us, but that 176 HP EVs are gonna help that those 80 EVs in special defense in taking on some threats, particularly the Frostless of Glacia. And that's it. That's the only fight where Aggron fights outside of the Steven fight, where, as we've seen in the first round, he fares extremely well against the entire team that the champion has, that Steven has, right? Well, we're the champion. This is the first game that actually recognizes the fact that we are the champion when we go to the rematch, the Elite Four. But regardless, Steven still is the strongest trainer in the game before Wally, right? So he's still the champion to me. Ironhead for Frostless, obviously. We have Brick Break right now because we're about to go into Sydney. Let's not talk about that too much. But obviously, Aggron is one of the two Pokemon that is gonna have its moveset constantly switched as we go throughout the Elite Four. Another Pokemon that we're gonna have its moveset constantly switched. We're gonna see him in a little bit because his move pool is so gigantic that we can just tailor it to the challenge at hand. So once again, its spread is Naive Nature, 176 HP, 252 attack, and 80 special defense. No speed EVs this time. Another returning member is Platina the Azumarill, yet another time are Dark type / Dragon type Slayer, packing Play Rough, Waterfall, Ice Punch, and Knockoff. We got rid of Scald and Ice Beam thanks to the tutors in the Battle Resort. We can teach it a more proper move set. Unfortunately, Aqua Jet is on Egg move, so we cannot get that. We're packing Play Rough, obviously as its Play Rough and Waterfall as its main stabs. Play Rough hits extremely hard. Sydney, most notably Phoebe's Mega Sableye, and Drake's King Drop. Waterfall obviously is there. It's, you know, hits it what it needs to hit, right? Possible last resort check against Steven's aggro, which is one of the scariest mon in this whole gauntlet. Together with Phoebe's Frostless. Those two Pokemon are wild cards, right? But we have Platina for just in case I need to use her for either of those two Pokemon. That's why I gave her knockoff for that Frostless. And Ice Punch is there in case I have to take on some other Dragon types out of Drake's team and I don't want to miss. Or other situations. It's just good coverage, right? That's the other returning member that I was talking about earlier that has a gigantic move pool that is Jellicent, aka Ice. Dazzling Gleam, it's obviously this Azumarill has 100 in special defense, 244 in attack, and 152 in HP. Took out the speed EVs because we're not going to need them. We're slower than anything that we have to fight against anyway with this Pokemon, so I thought the EVs and speed were pointless. Speaking of another Pokemon that we took out the speed EVs out of is Jellicent Vice, which has a big move pool that it's gonna get changed for every single Elite Four fight. For example, right now he is in Sydney mode with Scald for burns against its physical attackers in case we need Vice, because he's not a good choice for the Sydney at all. But just in case something goes haywire, we have him as a last resort, right? He's got Dazzling Gleam for that exact purpose as well. Recover is the one constant move that he's gonna have throughout the entire campaign. And then obviously the Shadow Balls, the Ice Beams, and the Surfs as we go throughout the Elite Four. Another returning member, he is the best Pokemon that I have to fight against Steven's aggro, which is a threat. It's a problem. And so I'm glad to have him back on the team. I'm very glad that I get to use Jellicent. For years I wanted to go back to Unova and do a run with Jellicent on the base Black and White, but I get to use him here instead, which is an even more fitting stage, since this is a much more difficult, I think, well, it's not much more difficult, but it's just more interesting to use this Gen 5 Pokemon in this Gen 3 remix than it isn't to use it in base Gen 5 games anyway. So I'm very glad to have him back on the team for sure. An unexpected team member this time is Sceptile Commander, our starter, who did not see any usage in the last Elite Four round, who barely escaped death in the Zinnia fight. So why is he here? Well, because he's lucky enough, so he must be he's lucky enough to have survived the Zinnia fight somehow, right? He got expelled by this fight, so he must have some sort of lucky charm, lucky aura with him. So no, that's not the reason why. The reason why is because this is the one Pokemon that can sweep Drake, right? In the last round we had Starmie, but unfortunately Starmie died. Milotic died, Gyarados died, and I'm gonna talk about Gyarados in a second. Wigglytuff died. Mega Audino dies against Drake. It's not fast enough to take out all of its Pokemon. So, and I did not get Mega Salamence because I killed it by accident. Altaria died, unfortunately. I was planning on, I had big plans for Altaria, but I had to resort to my starter commander, the Sceptile, with Giga Drain, Dragon Pulse. I don't even know what Giga Drain is there for. I doubt we're even gonna use it, but it's there just in case, you know, Wall Rain or like Sharpedo or Carbink or whatever, right? We have Giga Drain. It's 100% accurate. I trust it more than Leaf Storm or even Frenzy Plant. And it's better than like Grass Pledge because it recovers health, right? And its HP stat is pretty low, as you can see. Max special attack, max speed, 4 HP in special defense. This is just a glass cannon against Drake. It Mega Evolves and it Dragon Pulses 6 times, and that's game over for Drake. Night Slash is there just in case we need it against like Mega Metagross, right? Because we're still faster than Mega Metagross. Or like against Phoebe. And Drain Punch is there for Steven's Pokemon, for Glacia in case we need it, or for Sydney in case we need it, right? So yeah, max special attack, max speed, and 4 HP. In special defense, Sceptile is gonna be on the league. Yeah, one more time. This is my most crowned Pokemon. I've used it in. This is now its fourth. Its fourth Elite Four campaign. He was my starter in my first Emerald victory, my second Emerald victory, and also most recent Emerald victory. My Reign of Legends victory. So first hack ROM completion that I had was with him. So Sceptile is just a Pokemon that's it's bound to be champion together with me. Let's just say that. And finally, the last member, one of the newest guys, Sharpedo. That the guaranteed Sharpedo from Battle Resort. Adamant nature, max attack, max speed for in special defense. This is another. This is just like Sceptile. I need it for Phoebe. Crunches 5 times. Earthquakes once against Chandelure so that we don't get burnt. With its Mega, Strong Jaw Crunch is insanely powerful. It's also very, very, very fast, like lightning speed fast, even in base form, because it's got 95 base speed. It's very good against Steven Stone as a security, as a plan B. You know, it can crunch the Metagross, it can waterfall the Aggron or the Carbink or just whatever. It can Ice Fang Drake's Dragon types. It can come in handy even against, I guess, Glacier, I guess. You know, it can crunch the Frostlass. It can, it can crunch the Frostlass, right? So yeah, Dark Knight, obviously that's a Yu-Gi-Oh reference. Yeah, that's its name because it's the leader of the team. That's less of a obvious thing. It's another Yu-Gi-Oh reference, but it's way out there. It's almost unexplainable. Azumarill, first Hall of Fame in a Pokemon game in Diamond, so Platinum, Lady Platinum from the manga, you get the idea. Reinhardt, our Colossal Titan, and Godsend because it was. And that's the Elite Four team for the round 2 of this Elite Four run of the Omega Ruby Hardcore Nuzlocke. Pokemon that I did not bring with me were Machamp. Ultimately, he was a level 75, was ready to go, but ultimately I decided not to use it for reasons that I'm going to explain eventually later. Well, Corona, thought I was going to use it, but eventually decided against. Manectric, thought I was going to use it, but ultimately decided I wasn't. Metagross, not as useful as I thought it is. Without Mega, it's really not that useful, so I decided against it. Happiny was gonna be on my team instead of Jellicent, but I forgot to pick up the Egg Stone, or whatever the heck its evolutionary stone is. So eventually I cannot use Blissey. I wanted to use Blissey so bad, but unfortunately eventually I couldn't. This thing, I thought it was powerful, but first of all, it's got a terrible nature, it's got a terrible ability, and its Mega is not as useful as I thought. It just dies even against Drake, which is its best matchup. Even against Phoebe, doesn't do that well, so it's just not a viable Pokemon. Mega Mawile was an option, but changing its ability to Hypercut it to Intimidate to make it somewhat viable, it was just a big pain. And I did change Azumarill's ability with the ability capsule, but Azumarill was actually worth it. Mega Mawile, as good as it is, I just thought, man, Azumarill is just a little better for what I need, for the specific needs that I have in this Elite Four run. Azumarill is just better than Mega Mawile. So, and just base Mawile just sucks. It's not that good. It is bulky, but not as bulky as I wish that it was. So I eventually decided against it. And then, obviously, I cannot use this thing, right? It's just there because it had to be there. It's just there. Chilling, watching from the sidelines. And these two, holy crap, if only I could add two more Hall of Fame seats, they will go to Hydra, the trainer Crobat, and Redemption, the assistant trainer Blossom. These two basically made the whole run. These two Johto, disgusting Pokemon, they redeemed themselves and they made the run happen by EV training every single one. Let's look one last time at the deaths. Oh yeah, I was like setting up, what if I sacrificed all of these Pokemon to bring these guys back, but maybe I'm gonna do a video after this to take a look at these guys. Anyway, these are the unusable Pokemon. I got four shinies while training for the Elite Four. Saying the Banette, Mr. Land, upon on Tomorrowland, the Shiny Whismur, the sign that everything was gonna be that we were gonna win while training for special attack, the Shiny Oddish, and the final sign while we were training for EV, for HP EVs for Azumarill and Jellicent, the Shiny Whismur. Yeah, you know, Zatus, the Battle Maison guys, that we're still grinding there. We're like 31 wins, and God only knows if we're ever gonna get back there. You know, I got my suit, you know, I got my belt, I got my tie, I got my handkerchief, I got my water. I'm just ready. Let's do this.